try Bourne and Travis Mewhirter. We're back off the Zoom. We are in person, 6 feet apart, with a full Monster cooler right in front of us, and a Wilson ball and a Wilson T-shirt.
Hey,
and there's Kona somewhere in here as well.
Just happened to be sitting around here.
So we have sponsors blocking the distance between us, and we got a special episode.
We got
today.
airflow with the garage door.
We do have airflow. We're in the garage. We know this is my natural habitat in the garage, and this is a really special episode. Actually, something that we've been really excited about for a while now, is that we are announcing a book that we wrote that is out today. It is called Volleyball for Milkshakes. If you're watching the video, you can check out the cover right here. The cover was done by Nicolette Martin, who most of you are probably familiar with, the artist of beach volleyball.
Oh, yeah.
So this is kind of a celebratory episode with my
We're
guy. We
authors.
brought some Andre to celebrate Try being an author. Let's go.
Yeah, this is something that nobody thought would ever happen. Nobody that's ever known me thought that I would be an author. So, we got to take a sip of champagne for this.
Yeah,
one.
buddy.
Sure have.
Cheers, homie.
Thanks for bringing me on board on this one.
Yeah, buddy.
Bringing me along.
I was writing.
Taste of victory.
Yeah, buddy. So nothing like $6 champagne.
Oh, you're not supposed to tell them.
66,000.
Yeah, but hey, listen,
zeros.
we are drinking them out of Tiffany's flutes, champagne flutes, which apparently that's a nice thing.
Apparently it's nice.
Yeah, I've been told.
So I was writing, like with each episode I do a write-up. I pre-wrote this one because I knew what it was about.
Yeah.
It was about the book. And it was funny because I was thinking about how when I went to interview with the Northwest Florida Daily News, they were asking me about my long-term plans. This is when I was 23. And I was like, I'm going to write high school for a while, pick up a small college beat, go to a bigger college, and then end up Sports Illustrated is my dream job. Right, and nowhere in there was beach volleyball mentioned. And then if you take you at that same time period, you would have never been yep, writing is in my future.
Or podcasting, hosting, being on camera or on the mic in any way besides as the athlete.
Yeah. And now it's just funny how times change. Because, just in the past, we've been doing the podcast for 2.5-ish years now. And we just change, our life paths have changed so much.
Yeah.
I met you in 2016 kind of. That was when we first talked on the phone.
Right.
When I interviewed you for the first book.
Yeah.
And then 2 years later, with your help, I qualified on the AVP. You were there to witness it.
Yeah.
Now here we are. You're an author. You're a host.
Yeah. Dad, married. Mm-hmm. You're married.
I'm married.
Dang.
And now Nicolette's an author or an illustrator of a book, so she's stoked.
Yeah, it's a full volley crew.
Yeah.
For sure. We keep it in-house.
Yeah, and then Kim Smith edited the book, so it's complete beach volleyball community.
That's what's
here.
pretty cool. And I've said this before and talked with other athletes from other sports about this, is that we are almost forced to learn other stuff.
Yeah.
Right? That's what I've learned. I can go be a professional beach volleyball player and make a good living, but my career's going to end someday, right? And I'm going to want to I want to hit the ground running after I retire, and I don't want to be forced to play for a long time, you know? So I feel like a lot of beach volleyball players take on other passions and just try to learn other stuff, and a lot of them, let's be honest, are forced to do other stuff. Mm-hmm. But I'm 100% on board with the fact that you need to keep learning and growing as a person. And in 5-10 years, you don't want to be where you were. You know? You want to be surprised where we are right now. Whoa, I never knew I could do this. Yeah. That's what I want to be in 5 years.
Yeah.
And I think this is just another inspirational thing that I can look at and be whoa, I can do that? Yeah. What else can I do?
Exactly. Yeah. And books are hard. They take a long time.
Yeah.
For most people, if you're a semi-educated adult, you could read this in a day. Pretty quick. Yeah. And it still took us, we started talking about it a pretty long time ago.
Yeah.
It took us a while. Books are hard.
Good things take time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But why don't you give the listeners a little rundown of what they can expect in Volleyball for Milkshakes?
All right. Well, so it's a fictional story, first of all. And basically how it came about was, this podcast, right? You basically heard my story along with a lot of the other players that have come up through Hawaii. And I feel like that kind of sparked your interest the most, was like, what is happening in Hawaii? And and there's a lot of people talking about it, the baby court and whatnot. And so we had been talking about writing a different book actually. But I think we got the juices flowing on that.
Yeah.
And then someone threw out the idea, and I'm sure it was you, that we could potentially make a children's book out of, my story.
Yeah.
Based off of my story. And we talked about it for a bit and then kind of ran with it. You threw out some ideas, and then I kind of threw out my ideas based on what you had put out there, and I was like, all right, how true do we want this to be? And we didn't need it to be true at all.
Right.
But it ended up, like, I feel like my only value is, like, really just giving the honest truth about, like, how my childhood went and how I have developed and learned things, and how I think the other players, like the guys we include in the book, the other Hawaiian kids, and Ricardo.
And Ricardo made his way in there.
Ricardo's randomly in there. So yeah, one thing you'll see in the book is that there's a lot of like elderly people giving advice, and that's something that I grew up with a lot of, and I thought it would be great in this book to kind of pay it forward to the next generation, and me kind of being an elderly person now, passing on knowledge to a younger generation. And I don't get to be back in Hawaii coaching the kids and whatnot yet, but I think this could be a small way that I can give back. And obviously you're kind of passionate about doing the same thing.
Yeah. And I don't know, I just think people love this stuff. And I think that it's basically like, I'm trying to think, like we have like a Mr. Miyagi type character, right? With Auntie. Mm-hmm. And it's just fun because we took basically what we did was sort of use your childhood as a fictional foundation for the story, and then pack a different lesson from the podcast into pretty much every chapter.
Right, because every podcast we get like a lesson, and we ask the guest at the end, what would be your advice to the next generation? Yeah. And one of the things that comes up all the time is play all the time, right? And I mean, there's a lot of overlapping things that we get at the end of the podcast, and I noticed that for sure when you did the first draft. I was like, okay, I see where he's going with this. I also saw a lot of stuff because you and I have talked a lot about the development of your career, and I talk about mine as well. And there was a lot of those lessons in there. Like, Travis just learned this sport and became a pro within the last 3-4 years.
Yeah.
Right? So a lot of that was fresh, and I could see, as you were writing, I could see a lot of that coming out, mixed in with the lessons from other players, and then I threw my lessons in on top on my notes and whatnot, and we kind of whittled it down to some of the best lessons that we learned. Yeah. So there's some serious value here, I think, for kids. I want my kid to learn.
And having Nicolette read it was funny. She was just like, "Oh my gosh, this is so cool!"
Yeah,
it's so great to have
it that good? I mean, it's okay. She was really excited.
She was stoked about it.
Yeah.
So, but the illustrations are awesome too. I thought Nicolette did a great job. It's cool to see how excited
I was blown away. I was like, okay, we're gonna have some not stick figures. We'll get someone who's decent, but I thought it was gonna be little kid drawings kind of thing, where you can generally tell what's going on. This is amazing drawings.
Yeah.
When we dropped the name Ricardo in there, I didn't think it would look like child Ricardo, exactly.
Did you ever play the computer game Backyard Baseball?
No.
So it was like Backyard Baseball. It's just a little computer game you played, and it's just little backyard setups. But they had pros in their child forms in this game.
Oh, whoa!
And so they had child Ken Griffey Jr. in there, and that's pretty much what Nicolette did here. She just had child Ricardo and child Try and
backyard
backyard
volleyball.
Yeah,
that is funny.
Yeah,
I mean, the art is amazing, and we also, there's a lot of characters in there because they end up playing in a tournament, and there's all the friends and whatnot, and they're all real people for the most part. They're all based off of real people.
Yeah, and it's funny because most people's first novel, this is your first one, it is usually a pretty much fictionalized autobiography, and where you pull a lot from what you know, because that's the easiest thing.
Right.
And so, like, you know, we have all the like familiar places of your childhood. We got Outrigger and Diamond Head and surfing, and we also have like really similar people.
Yeah.
You know, all the characters are based around people that we know, and so like our readers, like you guys will recognize like a lot of the characters, and I think it'll be kind of fun for you to see like these like fictionalized childhood versions of like a lot of these AVP pros.
Right.
Because it was fun for me to write. I was just like, oh, baby Madison, what were you?
Yeah.
What were you like?
Did you think about putting beards on those two? Or
Madison and Riley hit
baby
puberty
beards?
in 5th grade.
Madison, not so much, but Riley was that kid.
Oh, really?
In high school, it's like, oh my God, like chest hair? What the hell? Damn.
That's so funny.
Yeah, Riley had the full chest hair in high school.
That's great. But yes, we'll have an audiobook out. That's gonna be out in like a week because Amazon has to like listen to it and approve it and make sure that it's rated properly.
So that'll be about
probably
July 7th?
Yeah, about then. But the book is available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. If you'd want to give us a review, we'd appreciate it. 5 stars would obviously be best.
Yeah.
If you want to buy it,
You,
the most important thing you can do is just share it out with your friends, and it's just a total beach volleyball book. So if you love beach volleyball, I will not so humbly say that I think you'll love this book.
Yep. Totally.
So congrats to you, Mr. Debut Author Try.
Thanks for the help there.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah,
You've now been your writing's been featured in 2 books now.
Dude, I know.
Forward to the first one, and now you're full author for this one.
Dang, I'm piggybacking off you hardcore.
Dude, you're killing it.
I love it. Yeah. No, it's crazy.
So that's the most exciting news we had to deliver.
Totally. Check out your book, everyone.
Yeah.
Get it for Christmas presents.
Christmas presents, birthday presents, 4th of July presents.
4th of July presents. There you go.
And so now we do have some fan questions that we'll move on to. While we get to them, I think I might take another little fill up of the finest champagne in the land.
I only drink champagne when there's something to celebrate.
Exactly. So hopefully for you,
medals.
We'll be having champagne a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
In July.
Yeah, exactly.
We got the Champions Cup coming up.
3 weekends in a row.
What were your original thoughts on it with the way that the AVP? So 3 weekends in a row.
Yep.
Long Beach, 8-team main draw.
Yep.
I don't even know if I've even talked to you about it. Like what your like kind of thoughts are, just in general.
I mean, generally my thoughts are, thank God the AVP, because it had to have been really difficult to pull something off during this time, just anything. Thank God they wanted to put something out there.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if it's fully beneficial to them. Like they definitely you could tell by the way that they spread out the prize money through the qualifier and whatnot that they're really trying to help keep the athletes afloat.
Yeah.
And I think that's pretty cool. I've talked to them a little bit because I'm obviously sponsored by Monster and I have a content budget that we're trying to create some content around the event because we don't have anything else to create it around this year. And I'm just noticing like how stressed out they are and like how strict they have to be to pull this event off and not get the plug pulled by the city or whoever it may be. So I'm just grateful that they're putting something on. They're putting some prize money out there. That bonus pool will be real nice to get a hold of. It would suck to go this whole year without playing in anything that we love, like significant, and I think this will fill that void for us. It's only 3 weeks, like that's insane, and that's kind of our season right now.
Yeah.
But I'm just grateful.
Yeah. I talked to Josh Glazebrook, who the listeners don't know him. He's now the senior VP of the AVP. Okay. Yeah, which I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was creative director before.
Yeah,
right?
I thought he was creative director.
He seems like he pretty much does everything.
Yeah, he's just like their ultimate utility guy.
Yeah.
But you might, I mean, if you don't know who he is, you might recognize him. He's like a pretty jacked dude, always wearing a muscle t-shirt, high white socks, and sneakers on the beach.
Yeah,
with a blonde mohawk.
Yeah, mohawk. Yeah, exactly.
So
exactly.
It's tough to miss.
You're not gonna miss him.
But he was talking about just how they turned over like every rock. Because I asked him, if they thought about going to Florida or Texas or states that are, been a little bit more loose with their COVID reaction, and he said, like, of course. But he was talking about just how expensive it would be because everyone has to stay in the same spot. Can't go anywhere. Can't go back to friends or family for 3 straight weeks. And he was like, just in housing and flights alone, like that's like $1 million of the AVP's money. And I was like, okay, so Long Beach is probably a good call.
Wait, so if they flew, everyone would have to stay in the bubble.
Right. So like, how the NBA is going to Disney.
Right, but we're not bubbling the AVP Long Beach, are we?
Well, I think what they're going to ask
What's even happening? I don't even know what's happening.
Well, I think what they're going to ask you guys to do
you gotta get tested,
is you're going to get tested, and they're going to say, like, you got to stay. So I know for the out-of-town teams, say, like, Kim
So
Hildreth,
they have a hotel for everyone?
No. But if we were to travel to Florida.
Oh, right.
But now they can say, go back to your homes in quarantine.
Oh, okay, got it.
Rather than hold everyone in Florida, which for the Florida athletes, it's kind of a bummer because they're going to have to find a place to stay for a month.
Yeah.
Here, but there's only a couple of them.
Summer in California to go play on the one professional sports is running.
Yeah.
But
Phil
and Nick will be happy.
So they did like look into like going out of state. They looked into natural beaches, but I guess for like to do an event on a natural beach, you have to go through like a state. You have to get state approval, city approval, health approval, and coastal commission's approval. So you have to get 4 different ones. And he was like, no one is getting all 4.
So they're going to go in a parking lot on the beach.
Yeah. So they're just going with a parking lot because the convention center, which isn't technically bound by LA County restrictions, I guess is a little loophole. So Long Beach is a little bit easier to do it. And they got the convention center and if you hold an event in Long Beach, I didn't know this, you'd have to truck sand in anyway because Long Beach is too shallow.
Oh, they do that.
So they were like, we'd have to truck sand in anyway, so we might as well go in a parking lot where we can control
And that beach
everything.
is barely a beach.
Right.
Like, it's not.
So I think they found the best possible solution.
Yeah, I love it. It's 20 minutes from my house.
Yeah, so it's perfect.
I love it.
And, I mean, it's obviously a bummer for, like, I'm out of the points loop, but...
Out of the quali?
Yeah.
Dang,
Which is, because it's basically like if you're in the quali, you would basically be automatically main draw for an event.
Right.
It's kind of the cutoff.
So I'm like is it right there?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
So I'm like a little bit outside of that.
It's tough for sure.
Which I expected.
Yeah.
Like, people were like, oh man, like, are you so bummed? Like, well, I wasn't really expecting to play the AVPs this year anyway.
Yeah.
And like, they're doing what they have to do. So I'm just bummed that I didn't win a few more matches that I should have won last year.
So what I did hear is that they're going to allow alternates.
Really?
Like someone gets to sign up as an alternate. I don't know exactly how it's going to work. I'm sure they're going to announce more. But I thought I heard something like that. Because if someone does get the virus, you don't have to pull your whole team out. Right. You get to pull in an alternate.
That makes sense.
But if your teammate gets the virus, you probably have the virus.
It's so weird. I don't know how any of this stuff works.
I don't know. It's complicated.
Yeah, because I was listening to Rogan, and he had someone on, some kind of like, I don't know, pathologist.
Right.
And the guy was saying that if you have a strong enough immune system that even if you're exposed to it, it's not that you would just get it and be asymptomatic, but you could just fight it off and not get it in the first place.
Huh.
So I have no idea. So maybe your partner could have it and you could not get it. I guess that is a possibility. But
who knows?
Yeah. So
it's
apparently,
so complicated.
But that does lead to one of the fan questions. I'll get the exact wording here in a second. This is from AJ Mahalik out on the East Coast. Players in major pro sports leagues are starting to express public concerns about their health as they return to play, especially as they see teammates testing positive for COVID. Are beach volleyball players generally aware of and satisfied with the steps the AVP is taking to protect the health of the players and their families during the Champions Cup? He's particularly interested in hearing Try's perspective as someone with an autoimmune disease.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, we're not going to know until we show up what steps they're really taking, right?
Yeah.
In terms of on-site. But from what I've heard, like I said, I was talking to them about potentially bringing in not a whole film crew, but someone to film and create this content piece for the sponsor. And they're just like, nope. And this is a title sponsor I'm talking about. Like this big sponsor. And they're just like, no, like we're not having anyone on site that doesn't have to be there.
Yeah.
Only the media partners that are streaming from NBC and Amazon are going to be there. Our coach can't even be on site unless he's with us.
Really?
So like if he doesn't have a reason to be there, he can't just hang out and like wait for us.
Right.
He has to come in with us, be with us, walk on the court with us, and if he's not, then he has to be off site. Like they're taking some big time precautions here. So I don't really think it's a matter of the AVP. I think it's a matter of the players. Like, what are you going to do? Knowing that you're going to go touch the same ball as this other team. Knowing that you're going to, I don't know what the setup's going to be, but you might be touching the similar, the bench and whatnot.
Right.
AVP might be disinfecting the benches in between. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
I'm sure everyone will be in masks. I hope the ref doesn't have to wear a mask sitting up in the sun.
Yeah.
I know we're not wearing masks because we'd probably pass out.
What a sight that would be.
But no, I definitely took, knowing my history with autoimmune disease, I've been trying to be as cautious as possible without living a lifestyle that's just not worth it for me.
Right.
But I talked to my doctor and he said that, I basically have the same, I should definitely be careful, he told me, but I have a similar amount of chance of getting it and fighting it off as the average person.
Yeah.
So that might just be for my case, and I'm lucky for that. But it's just about, I think it's about us as individuals taking it upon ourselves. Like, are you gonna, everything you do, you're whatever, endangering, or not endangering, but you're making sure there's a chance that your partner or your coach are going to get it as well. And
right.
And if you do put yourself out there to get it, then you're going to throw the tournament away. That your 3 chances to play. But everyone's got to live their life too. And so I just think it's about the individual. And as of now, it's kind of on the players because if you test positive or negative, positive, then you're out.
Right.
And you're going to throw away your whole season.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I'm not too worried. Wondering is that because there's so many false positives too.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Can
because this disease is so new and novel that.
Will you know if it's a false positive though?
Well, so I think because I was talking to Delaney and Katie about it, and they were like, "How much of a bummer would it be?" Because one of our friends had a false positive, and then they took 2 tests and they had 2 negatives.
Oh.
And so I think that the AVP is doing something similar where if you do get a positive, that you take a handful of follow-up tests to see if it's a false positive or not. Mm-hmm. So that would be such a bummer, though.
Dude, yeah. Your partner goes down and you're like, well, there goes my season again.
Yeah. So I know that the AVP is doing, I think they're testing athletes on the Monday before the event.
Okay.
So that the test will come back and give you enough time to have those follow-up tests.
Oh, right. Okay.
And there's an exact number of people allowed on site, which is why. So there's going to be no media allowed during the qualifier, which is how they were able to get more teams during the qualifier than the draw. And then so when the qualifier teams are out, they can be subbed in as humans on site with media people, and media people are kept in their zones. Like Amazon has their box. Cameron and Kevin have their box. DJ Ruche has his box.
I wonder if they're even going to watch live. Well, does the DJ need to be there? Gonna be there?
Could you imagine the vibe out there, in the finals, with no DJ or anything? It's just the silent, no fans or anything.
You have an intro. It's like, hey, where's Mark? He's talking about
You're trying to get hyped up about it. It feels like it's a CBVA and no one wants to be there.
Oh my God. Yeah,
it's going to be interesting.
It will be. I saw some footage of a German tour running, and they just kind of put up high walls.
Okay.
So that it was kind of sponsored out and it looked half decent.
Is Valkenhorst the one who's kind of putting that on?
I have no idea.
Okay.
But I think that's generally what it'll look like. I know Glazebrook's going to make it look really cool for the camera.
Yeah.
But I mean, we get to see how many people like to watch our sport, right? Like it's all relying on Amazon and whatnot. So it'll be fun to watch. And I got to imagine this is going to be the highest viewership we've had.
Yeah. And I mean, when you think about it, I mean, in terms of viewership, I think it's going to be the highest just because people are starved for sports.
Yeah.
Christ, like 17 million people watch the NFL draft.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
And two, when you think about it, you narrowed down all the best teams. Like, you're not going to have any Friday morning match between Phil and Nick and and me and Kyle Friend.
And they're not, and the matches aren't going on at the same time.
Yeah.
So like if you're a volleyball fan, you can sit down and just watch great volleyball all day.
And you're just
like
getting the best teams, the 8 best teams in the country. Mm-hmm. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whenever it is you happen to be listening to SANDCAST, Beach Volleyball with Bourne and Travis Mewhirter, we hope you are keeping you slightly entertained during these strange quarantine times during the coronavirus, but we just wanted to put out a message that we hope that you are staying sane, staying fit, staying healthy, and staying safe here over these next couple months. Hopefully that the coronavirus passes soon enough and we're all back to our normal lives. But here is just a get well message from SANDCAST. And now we move on to our sponsors who keep the show moving on. And we love Wilson. Wilson makes the best ball in the game. They came out with this brand new, really cool looking ball, the Optics, which has spin detection technology so we can all pass that jump serve, which Lord knows I needed. And to get discounted rates on the balls, which we will all need as we're going to enter preseason again here whenever this lockdown ends. So we all need brand new preseason balls to get us ready for the 2020 beach volleyball season. The discount code is WilsonSand for discount on all equipment at Wilson Volleyball, which makes the best balls in the game. A big thanks to our next sponsor, Pacific Coast Wealth Management, who's a big supporter of the Laguna Beach Open and just the beach volleyball community in general. They help athletes know where to put their prize money, from either retirement to 401ks to IRAs. And if you're not a beach volleyball player, they can help you with college savings. They can help you with all the money management you need. They have incredible tools and resources at their website, PacificCoastWealthManagement.com. So hit them up today and learn how to best use your money over the course of the season. And I heard that the Canadians are allowed to come in, too.
I saw some of the girls training today.
Because I know that Canada has like a really strict travel restriction, but I think because it's essential for their livelihood, they were able to come.
Huh. Yeah.
Which is awesome.
I mean, I saw Melissa down there today.
Awesome.
She said she had just shown up, and I think Brandy just flew in. So,
Sweet.
Yeah.
It's full
we
field.
Legitimately have the best team in the world on the women's side.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun to watch. I mean, I'm going to be glued in. Usually when I'm playing in a tournament, I'm out. I'm not going to watch much unless I'm going to play that team, you know.
Right.
If I know I'm going to play that team. But this one, I'm going to come straight. I mean, I'm going to go play in an AVP match and then drive home. I'm probably going to be back within 3 hours.
'Cause you can't hang out.
Yeah. It's so crazy. But it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun I think there'll be some good volleyball too. I mean, me and Trevor trained an entire off season, and not just us, but right. Everyone. I'm speaking for myself now though, that we trained an entire off season up until March, and we're like, this is go time. This is the time to make the Olympics, biggest tournaments of our lives, whatnot. We went to Qatar, played, and then everything just got cut.
Yeah.
But we put in so much work because we're still trying to figure out how to split block. And we finally had a full season with a coach to see, okay, what are we capable of, and how do we play? And we watched a lot of film, and we changed a lot. Our game is different now. We know how to play defense now. To a certain extent. You'll see if you really understand the intricacies of the sport, you'll notice that Trevor and I are playing a lot different, at least defensively.
Yeah.
I've been cleaning up my offense as well, a lot of things that I saw from last year. But, I've never watched so much film in my life because of COVID.
Yeah.
So, I'm so excited to see how I can implement all the kind of tactical stuff that I've been learning and seeing. And we're as much on the same page as we've ever been. not annoyed of each other because we haven't been traveling
Right.
every single day with each other, and we're not
Yeah.
jet lagged. We're not playing jet lag. That's actually something that's way different.
Yeah.
And honestly, I never took a break. We stopped playing for a while after Qatar because there was nothing to play for, and we couldn't be on the beaches, obviously. But I went straight to the gym, repair the body, start strengthening. So I never stopped in the gym. So I'm not really worried about my body with the impact and whatnot. I was going to a private court training in sand, so my body's ready for the sand. It's really just a matter of the shoulder holding up, but we've been taking care of that as well. And so I'm like, it's not going to be like, at least for me, I can speak for myself. It's not going out there and just like, oh, haven't played in a while, let's see what happens. Like, no, we never stopped. Like, our goal is to get better, and we've been doing just that. So I'm excited to see what we're capable of.
Watch out, they know what they're doing.
Let's go. I know a little bit at least. Just
a little more.
We're winging it, just a little less.
All right, while we are on the topic of the Champions Cup, someone asked, 405 Lax, can you make a list of all confirmed teams? He calls it the Corona Cup. The Champions.
I wish they called it the Q Tour, the Quarantine Tour,
Yeah,
the
that would be pretty
Corona
funny.
Cup. You can't say Corona Cup because all of our favorite beer is Kona Brew.
Yeah, this is true.
So
Shout out to our guys. There you
Shout
are.
out to
Gold
Kona
Cliff
Brew.
IPA. Can't make a list of all confirmed teams, but we'll do our best to sort of compile a list.
yeah,
All right, so we have the weird. Well, we'll just do the weird mix-ups. Casey Patterson mixed it up and went with Theo Brunner,
yeah.
and then Troy, who was then a free agent, took Tim Baumgren.
So they're running it back.
They're just running it back.
And we never got to see Patterson field. Nobody got to see that.
Yeah,
Besides if you trained against them.
just saw it once in practice.
It never went public.
Yeah,
Yeah, I wanted to see that.
which is such a bummer. I feel like
I thought they were
could
going
have
to
been
be
fun.
like entertaining and like really lively.
Like they could show. I feel like they could probably show signs of being the worst team on tour, and like this team is just unreal.
Maybe that's how practice went, and they were like, "We can't really be dancing if we're not playing good."
Yeah. So those two. John Hyden is playing with Jeremy Casebeer.
I'm interested to see that matchup. That could be deadly.
I was out with Jeremy today working on his shoot sets and transition.
Oh, really? He's prepping
pit.
for Hyden.
Yeah. Abby was like, faster, Jeremy. Jeremy was like, he really wants it faster. He's like, oh yeah. I think Bill Kolinski's still undecided, but I think Miles Partain is his leader in the clubhouse.
Oh yeah.
Sean Rosenthal is playing with Paul Lottman. Avery Dross is playing with Ryan Daugherty.
Lottman and Rosie.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, because Rosie was like my last prayer. I was like, Rosie, Jeremy's playing with John.
Yeah.
He was like, really?
Oh, really?
He was like,
You broke the news?
He's like, I've never looked at points in my life. I have no idea where anyone stands.
Yeah.
And then he texted me the next day. He's like, I'm going with Lottman. He's like, thanks for reaching out.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah.
Love it.
I'm trying to think of any other mix-ups that would have happened. I think that's all for the men.
You said Drost and Doherty?
Ryan Daugherty.
Wow, okay.
Chase Frischman is going back to Mike Brunsting.
Ooh.
He's returning from his... he's living out of his car for the next 2 years. His Subaru Outback.
For 2 years, he said the date.
That's what he said. He said at least 2 years to live out of his Subaru Outback, but he's coming back from his journey to go with Mike.
That does not sound great to me. But hey, Frisch. Love that guy.
He's on an existential journey, and he's
good. Good.
So, I think that's all the mix-ups for the guys. The women's been pretty funny to follow because Delaney and Katie are like right on the bubble. They should be in, but Delaney's like, well, if this person does this and that person does that, then we'll be out.
That's the junk part. Like, partnerships that aren't even partnerships could switch. Like, there could be two blockers. Like, well, it's better than not playing.
Right.
And they just like push out another team.
Well, that's what Emily Day is playing with Lauren Fendrick.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, because I think she's hurt. I don't know for sure.
Fendrick and Hughes were playing together, or training together at least last year, but Sarah Hughes is going to go with Carly Wopat.
Really? I thought she was with Brandy.
Oh, yeah, you're right. With Brandy, I guess, I don't know. I saw them training together.
So,
Whoops.
yeah. Well,
No, you're right.
Who knows?
She is with Brandy, and that's a great call.
All of this
Best blocker
is
in the
just
world.
like kind of rumor and conjecture.
Yeah.
Nothing's confirmed. But,
No, she's not playing with Carly. You're right. She was training with Carly until Brandy got here.
Okay.
But obviously, you can't play with Brandy on the World Tour, so maybe that's something we see in the future.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah.
And Carly has all the potential in the world.
Yeah, she's definitely in shape for it.
Yeah. No kidding. I think and Zana Muno is playing with Amanda Dowdy.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. I'm excited to see Zana in her second full year. Let's see what happens.
She's good. She came out. Her and Amanda came out from Texas. I think today was the first time I saw them on the beach. They were training with Stockman and Larson. They were right after me because Evie works with Kelly and Emily.
Right.
And me and Mike Bogue have been working with Evie, so I've gotten to see whoever trains with Kelly and Emily.
Nice.
So today was Zana and Amanda.
Sweet.
And then Chrissy Jones is playing with Tracy Callahan, which I think could be a really good team.
Huh.
And they've been training.
Is that a split blocking team or Tracy's defense?
Tracy's defense.
Okay.
And Chrissy's blocking.
Okay.
Which I think that team could be really good. Because they've been training like every day.
And they're going to be in the
They haven't
qualifier.
stopped. Yeah. I don't know who Corinne Quiggle's playing with because Fallon is not playing because I think she has asthma, so she's staying as safe as possible.
Yeah.
To stay away from COVID.
Right.
I don't know the other like big dogs. I mean, April and Alex are staying together. Clay Sponsor.
I would assume the other top teams are sticking together.
Yeah. So I think for the most part, the women's is pretty still.
Yeah.
So those are as many teams as we can kind of take our guess at. Let's see. One of the questions was, how is it that teams are breaking up without even a tourney? Points. People just grabbing points.
Yeah, exactly.
Good question from Saxon. Who do you think may surprise you on the men's side and the women's side in the Championship Cup? An underdog that just may bring the boom. My underdog on the men's side is Baranek, Eric Baranek and Andy Benish.
Yeah, totally.
Sure.
I've been thinking Baranek's obviously proven himself a bit. Like, he obviously can play at the top level. But Andy hasn't quite proven himself at that level yet. And I think for sure he's capable of it.
Yeah.
And I've seen him since he was young. And I was like, I said it early on, like, that guy has the tools necessary.
Yeah.
It's just whether he, first of all, wants to do it. And then if he can learn the game kind of mentally, which comes with experience of just putting yourself out there. I think he's put himself out there enough, obviously, to catch Eric's eye and win the Zahn Invitational. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I'm agree with you on that one.
We had some good players out there.
Yeah?
Like Rosie came out.
Rosie and A-Rob?
Rosie and A-Rob. Mm-hmm. Billy and Stafford played. Avery Dross played. We had Dave Palm and Kyle Friend played. Like, it was pretty much, it was kind of like an AVP that conflicted with a 4-star.
Right.
Like, yeah, because we had 12 men's teams. We had to limit it. We had to, just because we only had 4 courts, and I was like trying to put up as few red flags as possible.
Right,
so I was like, all right. We had like 40 teams like sign up. I was like, let's limit this to like 20.
Everyone wants to play right now.
Everyone wants to play.
Yeah.
And we had like Ed Chan came out and he kind of did like a rough estimate. Like 200 fans came out.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
It was awesome. Like the beach was like pretty crowded. Yeah. People distanced. We gave out masks and sanitizer.
Did you? Really?
True story. Yeah.
That's awesome.
We had like 40 masks and we had hand sanitizer at every court. Just because like even if no one wanted to put them on, like if the lifeguards came by, we wanted to be like, hey, we're trying.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and if some people are trying to be careful about it, like they can.
Yeah, they had the option.
Yeah.
And that was Stafford's idea. So good on Staff.
Yeah,
for
sure.
For being the responsible dad of the crew.
For sure.
Because we just winged it.
I don't know what other underdogs. I mean, I feel like it's kind of anyone could do well in this thing.
Yeah,
it's such a small draw. Like the 8 seed's not going to be a huge underdog,
right.
I mean, I think I'm ranked like what, 50th?
I mean, you're pretty close.
Right? Yeah, we have like the same amount of points. So am I an underdog?
Maybe. Your partner's carrying you as Manhattan win.
Dude, I haven't probably been ranked in the top 20 since 2016 or something. Because I haven't had 4 finishes.
Yeah, and it's funny because you're going to play 3 AVPs and none of these count for your points.
Yeah, next year I could win all 3 and I'll be still ranked 50th or whatever it is.
But probably in line for a wild card if you should need it.
I hope. Yeah, we'll see.
On the women's side, underdog, I like Tracy Callahan and Chrissy.
Ooh.
Just because they've been training all COVID long. Like, they just haven't stopped.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean,
they're putting up their own net or something?
Yeah. And because I've been training with Tracy a fair amount in, like, just, like, random backyards of people
really?
that we know. Yeah.
Huh.
And they'll just be like, yeah, got a backyard, like, feel free.
Yeah, that's kind of how a lot of people have been training, I feel like.
Just
there's
secret courts everywhere.
Yeah, and if you have a court, like, I feel like those people are always, like, hitting up the pros, like, hey.
Right.
Got something available.
Yeah. And like, it's people helping people.
I'll come watch the pros play in my backyard. Why not?
Yeah.
Right.
And it's funny because, like, you know, me and Delaney keep a pretty small circle of people anyway. So even like even though we were training with the same 4 people.
Yeah.
For like every day. We'd go home to our roommates. We were like, our circle was like 10 total people. Yeah. Even though we were living our lives normally.
I had a private court. I was up there by myself. It was like the most peaceful thing I've ever done.
It's awesome.
Like it was kind of on like a ranch property, this family that I know, and I was just up there like doing conditioning, serving balls, and like I could hear birds chirping. I was like, this is like heaven right now. Just getting out of the house and doing something. But that's the kind of stuff I feel like that's what you're gonna see here is who's been training. Yeah. Not necessarily just in the sand, but like keeping your body in shape and because your body's not going to be able to handle the impact. 3 weekends in a row is a serious thing. And you'll see who's been training based on who gets better through the 3 tournaments and who gets worse. Yeah. Some teams are going to fall apart, or some players are going to fall apart, I think. Yeah. I hope that's not us. I just want to make it through. Like, that's a huge goal of mine. I'm not going to lie. As much as I want to just be like, I want to win all of it, I want to play in all 3. Like, this will be my first full AVP season. I played the whole season. Yeah. That's really funny. Except for 2013 or something. So, like, that's my goal. I just want to play. Hilarious. I just want to play AVPs. Yeah. That's, like, what I want in my career right now.
You got full season, all 3 events.
Yeah. Here we go.
That kind of leads us to another question from guest 2. Which players have been practicing regularly for a while, and which players are just hitting the sand and training relatively recently? It's like hard to say because I feel like everyone knew someone who had a court.
Yeah, and a lot of people have been different about the way that they've gone about it. Like, if your family's really strict about it, you have to respect that and not train with other people for a few months. Like, obviously, a lot of people are getting more lax about it, which now the numbers are going up, so people might have to start backing off again. But it just depends on your situation. Like, I was pretty cautious about it this whole time. It's person to person. Yeah. If you have like a big family or you're like going to your parents' house a lot, then you're going to be more like the players, it seemed like they were going to be more cautious about it. The people who are single and like just running around and are bored out of their minds, those are the people that tended to get out more and be okay with putting themselves in harm's way, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know, because if people were training, it's not like they were broadcasting the fact that they were training.
Yeah, exactly. We really aren't going to know.
Yeah, we'll find out July, 18th is the first day?
Yeah, July 18th.
Find out in a couple weeks. I know that, I trained with Billy and Stafford last week maybe, and that was one of their first practices. So I know that they're kind of just getting back out.
Yeah. Bunch of kids and wives.
But Emily and Kelly are I think they were on the earlier end of it, but still, it's not like they've been training throughout the entire quarantine. The only people I saw training throughout the entire thing was Tracy. She was getting after it.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Well, I know Mikkel was not having anyone in the gym.
Yeah.
At least for a while now. I think he's might be having one individuals or something. But yeah, she's definitely one of those players that likes to get her reps.
Yeah. No, she had Mikkel like giving her like FaceTime gym sessions.
Yeah, exactly.
And stuff.
I had the same thing right here in this gym.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next question. This is from looks like St. Louis Volleyball 2014. In a world where the AVP hosts a co-ed tournament, who would be your partner?
We get to pick anyone?
Well, I am obligated.
You have to
say my wife.
Yeah.
In a world where I cannot pick my wife, I'd probably play with Katie. She's like our closest friend, and she's awesome.
Yeah.
So I'd probably either Delaney, and then if for whatever reason Delaney can't make it, then I'd play with Katie.
Yeah. I guess, are we playing on a men's or a girls' net?
Let's go with a 7'8" net, a little tweener.
Right in between men and women. I think I'd have to block, probably. I don't want to say April, because that's the easy choice.
Yeah.
You know what I think would be really fun to play with would be Sarah Hughes. I
Yeah.
just love her fire, and I also feel like we haven't gotten to see what she's capable of in a while. Like, it's been a year or two since she's, ever since Summer got hurt and semi-retired. I don't know exactly what she's doing, but I feel like there's a fire burning in there with Sarah Hughes. So I think that'd be fun. We get to run back the Trojan. Maybe she'll let me wear one of her 4 national championship rings that I don't have.
Actually, you know who I think would be a blast to play with is Laura Ludwig.
Yeah, totally.
She just looks like she has such a good energy.
High energy, yeah.
I'd
and just like when your partner's
German.
flying around, it makes you want to just like fly and
just
dive.
do fun stuff.
So like Sarah Sponsel too, where she's just like fully laying out, like not doing like the low crawl dive. She's just fully 2-hand diving from like 4 feet above the sand.
Yeah.
I think it'll be fun to play with. But Sarah's like that. Hughes is like that as well.
Yeah. Just little grinders.
Yeah,
and just run around and scrap all over the place.
Exactly.
Let's see. Next question. We'll do a few more. A lot of people are asking about over/under for next year, a number of events. So people are asking if we've heard anything about the 2021 season.
I think it's way too early to decide. Yeah. It's completely out of AVP's hands, but if it was up to them, I think they would get back to 8.
Yeah.
At least 8.
Yeah.
Right away.
So I would say hopefully 8. I haven't heard anything about it.
Yeah.
I think the AVP has enough on their hands with this.
There's no point in even thinking about it at this point. We don't even know if the Olympics is running.
Yeah, jeez. I hope the Olympics goes on.
God, dude.
I saw the MLB just canceled its minor league season. So I'm like, come on, AVP, let's just get through July.
Dude, totally. Yeah, we got a few weeks. I bet they wish it was sooner.
Yeah.
Because, as all this stuff changes and California's curve is going back up, that is not good.
And they're starting to, close down bars again. It's like,
come on. July 4th, all the beaches in LA County are closed. Yeah. So that's kind of shows you the direction that things are going. Yeah. Yeah, it's too early to tell anything for 2021.
So I'm taking the positive side, taking the over on 6. I think we'll hit 8 and 21.
I like that. I'm gonna jump on board with that one.
Taking the over.
Yeah.
Let's see. We'll let me see how many more we have. We have a couple. Don't want to keep you guys too long. All right, this one's kind of on the same way. This one's Cap. The AVP used to make stops all over the country, not just in California and Florida. Which non-coastal city would you like to see the AVP stop at or return to? I think I need another refill.
So what do we have?
For
Texas?
Just the closing champagne flute.
Yeah, that's a good call. We got to end the celebration.
Yeah, buddy.
So what do we have that's not coastal right now? We have Texas and we have Chicago. Is that it? Non-coastal?
We have 3 California, Hawaii, New York, Austin,
Chicago,
and
Seattle.
Seattle.
So, but 2 that aren't on the coast. So what non-coastal city would I like to see us go to? I always think Minnesota. I'm biased because I have family there, and I'm a diehard Vikings fan.
Yeah.
But that's a really good, great, just sports city in general. I think. Minneapolis. Definitely don't want to do it when it's cold there. But, I mean, let's go in the U.S. Bank Stadium, pack the thing. That's what I'm picturing.
I think I would get, the new Viking Stadium, is that?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Okay,
U.S.
I
Bank Stadium.
I didn't know that was the name. That stadium's cool.
I just got to go for my first game there this past winter.
Because it's built like a Viking ship, right? Isn't that kind of the design?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's freaking awesome.
Dude, it's cool. It's a cool stadium for sure. And the fan base there is really like lively and like into it.
I feel like the AVP owes Minnesota a stop just for Tim Bomgren. It should just be called the Bomgren Open.
Dude, totally. That's valid.
Dude's a legend.
That's valid. He's got to have a lot of fans out there too. I got at least like 35, 40 people that'll show up for my match. So that's something.
Tim will have the whole freaking state.
Yeah, exactly. I love it.
He was really funny. I was talking to him and he was like, finally, the AVP gets played on the even stage for me. He's like, now no one's been training. Right, because normally he comes in, he hasn't been training.
He has a private court though. Like he always trains at a private.
But it's always so cold.
Oh, that's true.
And now he's like, no one where it's even footing now. We've been training the same amount coming into an AVP tournament.
Yeah, except for this is his jam right now.
Yeah,
he's just doing what he always does.
Yeah,
and he balls out every time.
Every time, he's a freak athlete.
Yeah. Apparently, they have a pretty good crew out there that. They train with his brother, who's retired, and then they have one other guy that's pretty good. Theo Brunner went out there and trained with him for a little while.
Oh, nice.
Recently, I believe. And he told me he's got a good setup.
I guess it didn't go that great. Theo's
it did not go good. It did not go great, apparently. Yeah.
But I like that pick of Minnesota, though. I think I would go with somewhere in Denver.
Ooh, I like
somewhere
that.
In Colorado.
Yeah.
I've heard nothing but good things. And they used to go there.
The Motherlode, right?
The Motherlode's in Aspen. But the AVP used to stop in Boulder.
Go to Aspen.
And everyone said that event was great.
Totally.
The only tough thing is that, because the air's so thin, no one can hit a jump serve in bounds.
Yeah. That's kind of fun, though, when you go to events where there's different aspects like that. Like, the guy, K-Spear's not going to have his serve anymore, which is kind of... No offense to K-Spear, but that's kind of his MO when he goes to the World Tour Ball.
Yeah.
But like when we go to Stade, it's not that high. I want to say it's only like 5,000, but you feel it. You feel it in the lungs. You feel your serve going like 6 inches further kind of thing, which is significant.
Yeah. I don't know how high Aspen is, but I think it's pretty high up there.
Yeah. I like that stuff where it just changes.
You see who adjusts.
Yeah, exactly. Some you're in the heat, some you're in cold, which I hate the cold, so let's not do any cold events.
Aspen's at 8,000.
Oh, that's significant.
Yeah, that's high.
I like that, Aspen.
Have you ever had altitude sickness?
Yes.
Dude,
terrible.
Gnarly. Me and Delaney got it pretty bad. Last weekend we went hiking up in Big Pine, which is like just south of Mammoth.
Yeah.
And so we started the day here in Hermosa at sea level.
Yeah.
And
you both got it.
Yeah, and our hike started at 7,000, and at the highest point we hit 11,600.
Oof.
And we were hiking up, and it was one of those headaches that like pulses.
Oh yeah.
And it was like encroaching on my vision. I was like, I think we got to turn around.
Yeah.
It was like an 18.5-mile out and back that we did in one day.
Oh.
And we went up.
You felt better right when you came back down?
No, well, it felt better. Like going up was brutal. The last like maybe 2 miles, but then coming down felt better. But the headache and the nausea didn't go away till the next morning. We were like, I thought it was like, I didn't think it was a real thing because I'd never had it. It's like, I've been in mountains, it's been fine.
Yeah.
And then like, whew.
When I was a kid, we came up to the mainland for regional training for soccer, and our coach wanted us to train at altitude for the first time. We went to Snowbird,
Okay.
which, if I'm not mistaken, is like 10,000 plus.
Okay.
And we're a bunch of kids from Hawaii. Like,
That's
we've
high.
never left sea level, ever.
Yeah.
We've gone under sea level more than above sea level. And I was just like throwing up all night and like miserable.
Yeah, it's a real thing.
Yeah.
Which I was like, well, I got married in the mountains, honeymoon in the mountains, like skied a bunch, but
Yeah.
got
So
it.
I'm down for Aspen if we get to acclimate for like a week or
Yeah.
like, you know,
Give it a
a
couple
few days.
days.
Not if it's one of those like straight from Brazil world tour, like show up 2 days and you're
And just
back
go.
at it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that might be miserable.
So Minnesota and Aspen. So we have 2 more questions that we can hold here. I want to close on Stephen A. St. John's because it's a funny one.
Stephen A.
So
St.
this
John.
one
Wow.
is from Rack Attack. You're putting together a fantasy 4-man team, you and 3 others. So you can do max of 1 player per country. So you can only, so you can't do, so it's like you and 3 non-Americans.
Okay.
Anders.
Yeah, you have to.
I think I'd just put some twin towers. I go Anders and Oleg, Stoyanovsky, and
Yeah.
then I would need someone digging rocks back there. Maybe Krasilnikov.
Yeah. That's not bad. Just take the 2 top teams in the world.
Oh
and-
wait, but I can't do 2 Russians.
2 Russians, yeah.
I'd probably put. I don't want to put. You can't put Sorum back there, and I can't put Taylor back there.
Nope.
Alvaro Filo.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll take my Brazilian as Guto.
Okay.
My libero back
I
there.
love his
scooping
game.
and
He's
setting.
good.
Yeah. He's probably the scrappiest player on tour. Arguably, but I'd say that.
That holds weight for sure.
Yeah. I don't want Anders out there. I'm gonna go Alisson as my oppo. You know, where he just has to hit high and heavy.
You got Guto.
And he's
You
just
only got one
oh,
Brazilian.
sorry. Dang it. Okay. I'm going to go with Brouwer
Okay.
outside because he plays outside. Like, his style of play is an outside hitter
Yeah.
anyway. And he's a big dude.
That's a good call.
Jumps high, powerful. And then, so I guess I'm kind of the utility guy. Who's my big hitter? Can't have a Dutch or Brazil American. So I really don't want to say Anders.
And you don't want Oleg.
I'm overlapping, guys. No, I got to go Oleg for my Oppo.
Yeah.
And then I'll be the utility.
Okay. So Oleg is our one crossover.
Yeah. Well, he's just got that freak factor.
Yeah. He's
And
goofy-footed
honestly,
and-
I probably should have chose Anders
Yeah.
because he can do everything. But Anders Schmanders. My middle name's Anders, and I was first on this. I was the first Anders on
That's
this
really
tour.
funny.
So most people don't know that.
And then I think I'd have Nikolai on the bench.
Oh yeah,
Just
Nikolai.
coming in as my alternate.
Yeah, I don't like his style of hitting for 4s.
Okay.
I like Oleg. He can have that big approach. Ooh, Evandro would have been nice on that too.
Yeah.
As an oppo.
Yeah. It's tough to only pick one Brazilian.
Yeah, exactly. But I like Guto on my format
Yeah.
team.
Guto's
He's gonna
good.
pick up all those balls that we spray. You know, he's gonna go chase that down.
He'll run them down.
Yep.
All right. Last question from Stephen A. St. John. Who can hold their whiskey better, Taylor or Trevor?
Oh, come on. You can't even compare that. At least they embrace it on the show. Trevor's like, he's learning now. He's getting better at this whiskey thing's a new thing. He's embracing. Taylor, since the first day, and I will say I was there, he told me and Riley, we had a party at Spencer McLaughlin's house in high school. Hopefully the parents aren't listening. No, just joking. And we had Taylor over and his crew and whatnot, and we found out that he couldn't talk by the end of the night. You know, standard Taylor. But we found out the next day that was like his first time partying. He told us that.
Yeah.
We were like, oh, sorry, that went a little hard the first time. And then like every time since that I've seen Taylor drink, it's balls to the wall. He could drink me under the table like 3 times in the same night.
So drinking whiskey with the Crabs. Vote goes to Taylor Crab, which is really fun to watch. I think they do.
It's
fun.
So
funny.
Dude, I kind of like threw in a little remark like, oh, Trev, you've been on the SANDCAST a few times. Like, when do I get to come on drinking whiskey with the Crabs? And sounds like he doesn't want me on there. I'm pretty offended. But, I mean, I don't drink hard as much nowadays.
Yeah.
You know, everyone knows I'm pretty clean. I sip a few Kona Brews and that's about it. But I'll make an exception to get on the show. Come on. I'm trying to get on the show. We'll see. We'll see if it happens.
Yeah.
As of right now, the Crabs don't want me.
We'll see if we can bribe him because Trevor is in...
yeah, and he's in a book. I wrote a book about him, and I put him on the podcast like 3 times.
So
and he's my partner.
We'll get on there.
Jeez. Oh, we could do a SANDCAST on drinking whiskey.
SANDCAST collab with the Crabs.
Yeah. I like it.
Maybe
you'll be the key for me to get on the show.
I'll see if I can get in there because me and Trevor are 2-0 on the golf course, so I'll see if I can kind of leverage that.
Yeah, he scooped my golf partner. You were gonna be my wild horse. Bring you in there like, oh, I'll just bring my podcast buddy here. I don't know you guys want to play for money or you might have played before. Yeah, he scooped you on that one.
Well, we'll have to get you out there.
Yeah.
So golfing soon, but in the meantime, Volleyball for Milkshakes is out. Get it on Amazon. Give us a review if you like it. Even if you don't, give us a shout out. We'd appreciate it. Try. Congrats.
Thank you.
You're an author, bud.
You're like a 4-time author.
Leveling up. 4-time author now.
Hey, love it. Yep. I had a friend of mine who has a kid who's about 8 or 9 years old now, and she already assigned it to him as his summer reading.
That's super
She was
cool.
All excited. I was like, yes, giving kids homework.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Sorry, kid, but whatever, you know. I feel important now. So there you go. You can also, buy it for your niece and nephew if you want to give them some summer reading.
Yeah, SANDCAST is happy to provide homework.
Oh, I love it.
All right, homie. Well, good luck coming up in these next couple weeks.
Thanks, brother. Maybe you'll be an alternate.
Maybe. Might jump off the bench.
All right, everyone. We'll see you guys on Amazon if we don't see you on the podcast before then.